C'est le tien, mon moyen.
What's up traders, welcome back to Montreal. Today's the day where I go to Mexico City. I'm gonna take a flight later tonight. Things are all packed up, or pretty much. We're getting there. So I got a question by email recently that I feel a lot of people struggle with, so we'll go with that. You see, a lot of people hear that they have to use support and resistance areas when they trade, but then they get to the point where they apply it, or they draw lines in their chart, but it doesn't seem as clear. It seems like it's not that good. Or sometimes the zones are perfect, but then they trade and they lose money. So I want to answer that, why you still lose money when you trade support and resistance areas. Here's why. 3 parts. So the first reason why you're not making money with support and resistance areas could be as simple as you're not identifying them right. So you might know how to put them on a chart, but it might not be the levels that you should trade. So sometimes people have different rules and different ways of doing it. And if you didn't test how you place your line, and if you don't have rules for yourself how to do it, so like for example, look at the high, or the high is more important than the close, or whatever rule you define for yourself, or you need like 2 touches to have a line, whatever you define. But if you don't have rules put in place, chances are it's going to be different. And if you just try to do it, chances are you're not consistent all the time with the same lines. And keep in mind, consistent action will lead to consistent result if you do it all the time, of course. Now, the second reason why those could not work is simply because you don't have a plan around them. So maybe you look at zones and you try to trade zones, but keep in mind that zones by themselves cannot be profitable. It's really hard to trade only a zone and make a good profit, because where you're going to put your stop loss, where will be your take profit? Those are things you have to define also, because if you just trade a zone, enter a trade, and then leave it there and wait for it to be in profit to close it, and that's going to be in fact a really bad idea. So you want to be very clear and ensure that you have a plan surrounding it. And that's why having a 1-page trading plan will be very useful. All the details you have in your plan are in there. I'll link this below. There's a video on that, a tutorial on how to fill it, but if you want to grab it, then it's there. And you can use it to make your plan whatever you need it for. So it's going to be detailed step by step and easy to look at. That's what I use all the time. It's been built for me at first. Anyway, the third reason now why you're losing money with support and resistance areas or zones or levels. This one is a little bit more complex, but I see a lot of people that trade these zones, but they don't really take a look at what happens at the zone. So they might see a resistance area and they assume from there that it sure will reverse, which doesn't happen. It might reverse, it might not reverse, it might break out, who knows? No one knows that. But in addition to that, what you need to look at is how's the price approaching the level. So sometimes when price approaches the level fast with big candlestick, it's a sign that it will probably reverse better because there are buyers and sellers in the market. When it's approaching a level slowly, chances are that kind of buyers and sellers are understanding the market, understanding the price, and they're kind of correct with it and they won't do anything. When it's getting to a zone and going sideways or doing not much for a while, chances are that the result won't be clear. And you might take a trade and be stopped out because it's just going up and down, and it's messy. Because those are things I've learned over time. They might differ by markets, but it's kind of what I've accumulated and learned over time. You can see it for yourself, you can take a chart, and I highly recommend also that you look at charts to understand how this works really, and don't just try to do what I tell you. Much better if you do your homework. And as a small note, to just conclude this before I leave, keep in mind that you need to backtest whatever you decide. Right? If you just look at zones and you say, well, I've heard that this is how you draw a zone, this is how you look at zones, this is how you trade zones, keep in mind that you have to do the next step, which most people won't ever do. And that next step is called testing the stuff and testing the result. Is it really working well? Or do you have a problem to identify it? Do you have some doubts around it? You get into a trade, but you feel like you didn't place your zone right, so you go back and you cancel the trade. And if you get to trade live with that, it's a disaster and it won't go very well. So you might do it beforehand. Now I really gotta pack everything before I leave for Mexico, and we need to finish this as soon as possible, then head to the airport and we'll get back to the travel video. So I'll try to do, and this is what I think for now, I'll try to do half the video trading stuff, so lessons, useful content you can apply, but the second half, travel stuff, because I want to motivate you guys to do more, and we'll pick back up when I get to the airport. And just like that, we're back at the airport. This is the worst place to record in because there's always like messages coming up and stuff that's not cool to have.
l'instant 12 à destination de Toulouse-Blagnac à la porte 68. Tous les passagers doivent maintenir.
So we'll keep it short, and I'm heading to Mexico City in a few hours. Flight is at I think 11:15, 11:10 p.m. But this is what Iran looks like.
C'est Etienne, bon voyage.
So touchdown Mexico took a while to get the suitcase, but I'm super hungry, so I came to this restaurant. I'm not sure if that's good. It's called Wings. We'll see. It's just like a big bright red sign. That's why I'm like all red and stuff. But we'll see what that looks like. And this is the first meal in Mexico City. So let's have a look. Now it's time for a little bit of work before heading to the Airbnb. So work time. I'm really tired. I had to go to the Airbnb, try to find the place. It's that flight this past night and the lack of sleep. The lack of sleep is really hard. So I finally made it to my room. To my surprise, this looks way more to a hostel or something similar than Airbnb, but whatever, it's pretty cool. I'll take it. Two beds, one here, it's pretty big, and one over here with the bathroom, so that's pretty awesome. Now, I thought I would be able to go to sleep and catch a quick nap right now. I've been sleeping most of the ride in taxi just to try to catch up for the past night, but I just realized that the door here doesn't really lock, so I've been trying to close it a few times. And even though you lock it, it still like opens. So either I'm like really too tired to close the door properly, or the door doesn't close properly and doesn't lock properly. So I called the Airbnb owner, and he's gonna come by, see if he can fix it. And because I would much rather not lose my stuff when I'm traveling here. That's just better. Well guys, it looks like it won't be an easy thing to fix. That being said, I'll finish this here for today. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it once again. Cannot talk. Comment below what you thought. As always, give a like if you enjoyed this video today, and I'll catch you here tomorrow for another video. We'll see what happened with the door and more. Ciao.